Anti-Semitism really is the world's oldest hatred. It dates back literally millennia. It goes back to the deicide charge that Jews killed Jesus. It goes back to the charge that Jews killed Christian babies for ritual purposes to make matzah. And eventually, in the 30s and 40s, you get to the Holocaust when 6 million Jews were killed by the Nazis. But in every instance, Jews were the scapegoat. Anti-Semitism is resilient in the world of hatred because it keeps being recycled for whatever purpose the anti-Semites need. At a time of rising economic uncertainty like now, Jews have historically been scapegoated for economic woes. And now in our country, the white nationalist groups focus on the Jews. We saw this on full display in Charlottesville. Jews will not replace us, not just because they're Jews, but because they feel that Jews are helping to replace the white Christian society with immigrants and people of color. It's why it's so important for us to all stand together to fight anti-Semitism. Kanye is the focus here, but this is not something that is limited to Kanye. I actually think, as frustrating as it's been to watch companies like Adidas drag their feet for more than 2 weeks after the horrific anti-Semitic comments to take action, and as frustrating as it's also been to watch some of the reporting about what Kanye said and see it characterized not as anti-Semitic Jew hatred, but to be couched in terms of some have questioned the controversial things that he said. We've got to be much more straightforward. If we let it go unchecked, it normalizes anti-Semitism. On the other hand, because he has so many followers, we're having this conversation. And conversations like this are taking place all over the country. He has a platform because social media companies give him a platform. And we can't allow algorithms of hate to dominate people's inboxes. And so there is a responsibility on the part of social media companies as well to enforce their own anti-hate policies. The Holocaust is more and more in our rearview mirror. A recent study showed that almost 50% of American millennials and Gen Zers can't name Auschwitz or any concentration camp. 63% of Americans aged 18 to 39 do not know that 6 million Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. And 11%, in the most disturbing of all, believe that Jews caused the Holocaust. So it is a reminder that we need to do a better job helping people understand what the Holocaust represents, both as the lowest point in Jewish history, but also as a sign of what can happen if anti-Semitism and hatred can continue unabated and unchecked. We can't tiptoe around this. We all have a responsibility here. When social media companies allow their platforms to be used to spread anti-Semitism and for hatred, we've got to call that out. When traditional media companies can't bring themselves to call anti-Semitism anti-Semitism, that they have to characterize it as something that others complain about rather than something that is objectively dangerous to the Jewish community and America at large. We've got to call it out wherever it comes from. What we cannot afford to do in this case or any other is to use the story about Kanye as to view it as just one more celebrity issue, somebody saying something they shouldn't say, it costs them billions of dollars, a bunch of celebrities tweet about it, which the support is very important, but if that's the end of the story, then we're just going to wait around for the next person who's spewing hate. We have to work to prevent it, and we can do that, and we have to do that. We need allies, and this is perhaps the biggest takeaway from this whole Kanye episode. AJC's been working so hard to bring together the Jewish community, the Black community, Jewish community, and the Hispanic community, all around the country, and to do deep interreligious work between Jews and Muslims, and Jews and Christians, recognizing that we've all got to be there for one another. And at this moment, when the Jewish community is under attack and the focus is on us, we've got to be able to condemn anti-Semitism singularly. And when the Black community is under attack, we've got to condemn racism the same way. And by doing it together, That's how we push back, and ultimately that's how we educate people and push this back under the carpet where it belongs.